Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two in the Cooler. Thank you guys for listening. If you don't for some weird reason already, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Two in the Cooler, and definitely be subscribing to the YouTube page. Highlights, clips on there, full episodes, ton of stuff you don't want to miss. You want to get the best experience of the podcast, that is the way to do it. So be sure to do all that. Excellent episode today, which I'm very, very excited about. Before we get into that, you know we got to take care of some business, and that starts right here with Instacart. Instacart is the best way to have not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. Instacart was a lifesaver for some people in 2020. And now, through that, they've been able to find the benefits of Instacart, and they're still using it, okay? Things are pretty good now for a lot of people. They go outside, go to the grocery stores and stuff, but what we realized in the pandemic is that you don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about going to the store. Oh, I forgot something. Oh, I need to go back and pick it up. Oh, I got to go through the crowded parking lot. People in grocery store parking lots are terrible. You know where else they're terrible? Inside of grocery stores. Avoid all of that and just use Instacart. The best part is right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $35 or more. Just hit the link in the show description and get yourself that deal. Start using Instacart today. While you're looking in the show description, there's another link, and that link is for merch. The best merch on the market, teespring.com/store/Two in the Cooler. Quality t-shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops, whatever you want. We've got logo merch. We've got the Matt Can't Read line. We've got hashtag pizza tipping. And, of course, the summer line, PTP, Protect the Prostitutes. Get yourself something nice for the summer, okay? It's warm outside, all right? Why not redo your wardrobe? People haven't seen you in a long time, okay? Get yourself something nice, comfortable, something classy, something that's going to make you look good and feel good. teespring.com/store/Two in the Cooler. Go check that out today. And if anybody has any photos of Spider-Man, I need them on my desk by tomorrow. Watch the podcast, or watch it on YouTube. I need photos of Spider-Man, people. Thanks for listening. Here's the show.
Why? I love the whistle.
Because you got your lips look real weird when you whistle. You gotta peek behind the mic to see it. The folks at home don't know.
Yeah, they don't care. We don't care about them.
No, I like them. You don't care about them, but I do. We started. So
Joe
Roscetti on the podcast. Thanks for coming on, man.
Canada brothers.
Yep, we appreciate it. Here. You got a great voice, man.
In terms of like speaking or
like singing.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you speak very well too.
Yeah. Well, that's what when Joe walked in the building, I asked him how he was doing. He's like, I do very well. I'm doing well. And that always throws me off when people say things correctly.
Yeah, the right way.
Yeah. We just live in a world where, I live in a world where I'm always saying things wrong. Yeah. So it throws me off. But you have an awesome singing voice, man.
I really appreciate you saying that.
Did you have to learn that?
No lessons ever. That's always just, it's right here.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I'm all natural as well.
Yeah, but in a bad way. Joe can, I say when Joe can sing, you can also sing, but Joe can sing well.
Oh,
see,
I'm sure.
That's good English.
I bet Matt could.
No.
You could rip not a few bars?
No. I was told, I feel like we've said this on the show before, but I was told by my family my whole life that they would never let me go on American Idol. They would never let me embarrass myself.
Well, if you did, what song would you pick right now?
Oh, Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker. And I would rock the shit out of it. I mean, the place would be going, but it wouldn't be very good. Yeah, I'm all about charisma when I get the mic.
That's all that matters. Yeah. That's about 75%.
Is it true?
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Well, I just don't want to believe it because
no, I would say it's only true to a point.
But
I would say once you get to the point where, you obviously have a very good voice, and then in order, there's people out there that have good voices. You can take yourself to the next level if you're good at, performing as well as just singing.
I have to imagine a lot of those folks are like songwriters who if somebody can sing well or write good stuff, but they don't have that presence, then they just make a career out of writing songs for Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift. Does Taylor Swift? She has songwriters, probably.
Drake.
They're all frauds, man.
Everyone's
writing for everyone else.
Luke Bryan doesn't write his own songs. Well, maybe he does.
And then think about Luke Bryan. He's a fraud, man. He does he got a voice?
I've been saying that for years. I feel like there was just some Luke Bryan song that I heard, and I was like, this song.
Knocking Boots.
No,
Not
it
that
wasn't.
great
It
of a
wasn't
song.
Knocking Boots. It was like a new song,
Oh,
and I was like, this song could be by anybody from anywhere. Like it doesn't say a damn thing.
he's getting a little generic.
But I always say all country songs are about corn. I think when you boil it down, the
No.
corn that's what it's mostly about.
No, I mean I don't know. I guess I don't really.
Corn's not one of the main ingredients in beer these days, right?
Yeah, it's well, Bud Light is rice.
Right, yeah, it's all rice.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
But most other beers are not rice.
Bud Light finally has the balls just to put it right on the box.
Mhm.
Mainly rice.
Yeah,
Whoa.
we have rice. What are the other ones? Wheat,
Yeah, wheat,
Barley.
barley.
Little
Uh,
malt.
People better be
See,
writing
that's a
this
country
down.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just wrote a country
This is
song.
gold, people. Let's call Dolly Parton.
Luke Bryan, we own this now.
How many bands are you in right now, Joe?
Okay, right now. Let's say 6. Let's say 6.
What?
Is that too many?
No,
No.
it's not.
Let me make sure. Can I go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
All right, so I just started the brand new It Sure Is Surreal. Kind of like the Joe Roscetti show.
Yeah,
Stock Car Boys, of course.
obviously.
Punk band out of Buffalo, Passed Out. Cover band, Chris Borgatti and the Half Trays. And then we do that on the side, Half Trays. And I play with some guys in the Falls called the Back Alley Bastards. So that's 6, yeah.
That's a great band.
That good? Right, we only play once a year in an alley.
Yeah.
So we're a bunch of bastards. Just kind of makes sense.
That's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, just once. Yeah, it's minimal. Yeah, you don't need to go over the top with it.
But how do you let people know that this is the day to show up at this alley?
The
and
people
do
who
this?
need to know, man. The people who, they already know.
That's awesome. 6 bands.
I've
So,
never done anything that cool. Just I keep going 6 bands.
I mean, do you have any free time at all?
Yeah, a lot right now. I've been doing shit right now.
Just because of the pandemic and stuff?
You know what I do for a day job, right?
You were a teacher?
I am.
Full-time teacher?
At Niagara Wheat Field, baby.
Wow.
So yeah, this summer break, I've just been laying low.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a part of my life still.
Yeah.
It's summer break. That's
Being
always
a teacher.
cool thing.
Yeah, our mom was a teacher,
Yep.
and that's
I almost said R.I.P. She's alive and well. She's doing
fact-
doing great.
It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday,
It's
Mrs.
true.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andrew probably didn't call her.
I did
But,
call her.
Yeah. So 6 that was going to be my question too. Is do you have any free time? So, and this is a question we've been talking a lot. I'm sure Andrew has a lot more loaded questions, but I like to start somewhere small with everything that this world has gone through. So, pandemic is coming to an end, right?
Yes.
So, is that something that you're looking forward to, like being able to play live music again? Have you had the opportunity to do that yet, or is it not really something that you do all that often, depending on who you're playing with?
Well, yeah, so certain vehicles out of that group of 6 are geared only for live playing. I never really stopped. I was playing all year last year, too. I've played twice a week since, like, the first week of May, mainly with that Chris Borgatti. It doesn't feel like the pandemic's almost over. Kind of feels like it's been over for a while for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I've been busy in that regard. My days, my 7 a.m. to like 3 that's wide open. But yeah, I've been playing, like, I go and practice every night of the week, and play at least twice a weekend, Friday, Saturdays usually. So yeah, keeping busy. Looking forward to keeping it going.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a clean start right now for me though. Just gonna keep it up.
Wow. That is man, I did not expect you to say 6. I'm sorry. I was like, okay, maybe he's in 4.
And when I answered it, I just kind of threw that bullshit number out there, but I'm glad that it actually was the
Yeah,
truth.
you nailed it. Yeah.
if I had to guess right now, probably 6. And
And there might even be, I have some projects kind of like in the download too that could even be added, but we'll keep it at the 6.
Yeah.
Why did you? Could you? This it sure is surreal.
It sure is, man.
Which has been out for like a couple weeks now. Your
About a week,
EP
yeah.
with the 2 songs on it, which are really great.
Oh, thank you.
What took you so long to do your own thing?
Obligations, man. There's relationships, working with keeping everyone else busy and happy. And then I think that's the biggest byproduct of the pandemic for me. Any time that existed that was I was left to my own device. That's what came out of it. So I finally have a product now. So I guess I had to wait for enough downtime, and the pandemic gave it to me in a way last year. So I'd say that's what is the start of this solo thing. Mm-hmm. And also knowledge and enough money to buy all my own shit, and learning the software myself, and getting interfaces and studios set up that I can just go to by myself and figure it all out, rather than book some time with a guy out in Kenmore or something. So just time, money, and I was just ready to go. I wanted to do something on my own now.
But it sounds like the solo stuff was in the works for a while, or it was on the back burner at least for a while. Like, yeah. It was in your head, you knew you were going to get to it, but you just had to wait till the right time. Because that was going to be one of the other questions I asked was there something, and now I know the answer, but I was going to say, was there something that kind of pushed you to finally start, the whole solo thing, or was it just finally you had the time and the resource to get it done? Yeah,
I think, mainly the time and resources, and the one group that, I probably put the most into before that was the Stock Car Boys, and we finally put a bow on a nice trilogy. We put out a third record. I just like that number 3. And, we all kind of have gone our separate ways in life now. That was, other than time and money, probably the biggest catalyst would be just, tidying up that group project. That was my main outlet for 5-6 years.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. So it sounds like you were really kind of focusing on... You said that you were focused on trying to make everybody else happy, and now you're finally doing your own thing.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good estimate. Yeah. I'll stand by those words.
Interesting. So that must be a breakthrough from the pandemic, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, a whole mindset change, with the way of life change. And I think everyone could benefit from that kind of progress, or that kind of breakthrough.
It's definitely something that we've talked about a lot. There's a lot of people, specifically in the music industry, that we've had come on this show since all this has come and gone, that have changed the way they think, whether it be from a music perspective or a personal lifestyle perspective. And it's really interesting to hear. It's also really good for everybody that does it, because it's not always an easy thing to do. Especially when it's something like music and starting a solo kind of journey that you don't know how it's going to pan out. Especially if you've never done solo work before necessarily, you kind of have to, find exactly which direction where you want to go. And so I'll ask you this. Do you think it was easier to find that, or more difficult, given in how many different bands you play in? I'm sure you play a lot of different styles of music depending on who you're working with. So do you think that made it easier to kind of narrow down what you wanted to do when it came time to do some solo stuff, or did it make it harder, or was that already in the back of your head before you even started it?
It was probably always kind of just there. I wouldn't say it was anything made it harder or easier. In terms of just my roles in a lot of the groups I've always been in, it's kind of not dictator, but I kind of was like making choices and bringing stuff to the table.
A leadership role.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it, man. And I don't know, it just, I guess some time to myself helped. Pandemic probably made it a lot easier, and just all the circumstances that of the last year made it easier. I wouldn't say anything made anything difficult. No.
I'm kind of glad to hear you say that. I think it's a good thing. I think that doing what you do, being a musician, you want to please people.
Sure.
That's why you kind of play music. You want people to like it.
Definitely.
You obviously love it, but you want people to enjoy what you're putting out. And I heard this guy say this thing. He's a comedian, but he was like, my advice to young people out there is be selfish, be a little selfish. And I think a lot of people would hear that and maybe say it sounds kind of fucked up. But I think if you're someone that is good at what they do, knows what they need to do and what they need to do to get better at it, maybe that's the best way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the problem with that is there's a lot of people that don't understand or have a different understanding of what it means to be selfish. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because there's a lot of people out there who are selfish for the wrong reasons, whereas like self-progression, we'll call it, is a great reason. You kind of have to be selfish. And it's not like, oh, I'm taking care of myself first, but at the same time it kind of is, and the way you describe it, where you helped make all these people, and I don't even like to use the word like you were just trying to make them happy, but you helped accomplish what you need to do with these people without kind of screwing them over, and now you finally have a bit of a chance to work on yourself, and that's, I think, a place that a lot of people could benefit from getting to.
Well, yeah, and definitely not only in music, it's life too, right?
Yeah.
And why not be selfish sometimes and know when to be and when not to be, and still have another part of your life where you can be as selfless as you need to?
Yeah, you got to balance. Like everything else, I guess, you really got to balance it. But, yeah, maybe sometimes with your art, it's a good thing to be a little selfish. It's tough to say.
I think it's just intrinsically, there's something selfish about art itself. I mean, when it's your product, whether it's with you or you bring other people into it, it was yours at some point.
Right.
And
there's almost a little bit of hubris in just being thinking that you can make something, put it out.
Too, in a sense. Like, you want your product to be the best, and sometimes in order to do that, you have to, like you said, take matters into your own hand, step into a leadership role and make decisions that other people either aren't willing to make or maybe are gearing towards making the wrong one.
That's another big part of success, I think, is that some people just don't have the ability to make those decisions for whatever reason. Maybe they get too nervous or anything, but everything's nerve-wracking, but things need to get done. And I feel like, historically speaking,
you're not good at getting things done. Is that what you're going to say?
First of all, I'm great at look.
Yeah, look at what you guys have here.
Okay, no offense, but you did not connect all these cameras to this computer.
It's
one plug,
I
but
adjust the earphones, and my face is on the picture.
And those are the important things,
yeah.
Matthew. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That's just me being selfless, letting you set everything up to give you a sense of accomplishment.
I think that there's a truth to that.
Yeah.
Because you know me. I need to be the one to plug these things in.
Yeah.
I can't have other people do it.
It would take me about 1.5 years to learn how to.
You get it. You'd get it down easy. But what was I saying? Something about bands. Historically speaking, I think that that selfishness or whatever is way more difficult to navigate in a band situation. Have you had? I mean, you don't have to talk about this. I'm not trying to get some kind of scoop, but I'm interested in this question. Let's say it like this. Okay. Theoretically, if you were in those situations, or advice for people in those situations right now, what would you do? What do you think these big issues with bands are that they have?
You know what? Like, my personal, and I think I would live up to it, and I would hope that people would also, but it probably doesn't sound that good. Is do you? Don't bow down. I don't know. There's this word called to kowtow. You ever heard of that?
No.
I think it's like an Asian thing. To kowtow is like, just submit immediately to whatever demand or question or request is made of you. And I say, don't do that. I say, just there's a reason you thought what you thought in the first place. Be as true to your personal self and your direction as possible. And I say, unend any potential problems with that mindset. Personally, I don't know if everyone can do that.
This is not the direction I saw this going, but you saying that made me think of this. There's this book called The 5 Dysfunctions of Team, and one of the dysfunctions is fear of conflict. But it's not like, just to kind of articulate what I think you're saying by that, it's not argue with people or fear. So fear of conflict is seen as a bad thing. But when they talk about conflict, it's not like argue about people or with people that you're working with, right? But rather, if you have an idea, or if you hear somebody say something and you disagree with it, you're doing yourself and the team, or in this case the band, an injustice by not speaking up against it. Because whether your idea is better than that idea or not, it's worth it to have a discussion about it, because either there's different options. You could either come up with a completely new idea that kind of takes both ideas into account and is better than the original ones, or whether you decide on one or the other, at least everybody's on the same page, right? If you try to work through something, so what was the word again?
Never kowtow.
Yeah, so
Never kowtow T-shirts on
So,
sale right now. JoeRoscetti.com.
if you kowtow,
I love the way I love that pronunciation.
yeah, so you have a little bit of spice on it. At that point, because it's not you, because you didn't have a say in the decision, right? Then it kind of leads into you being less invested in making that product as good. And it comes back to what we were saying about art and taking pride in it. And it's kind of feels selfish at times because you want your product to be so good. If you don't have a say in a decision,
or if you decide not to speak up,
yeah,
when you can,
and you disagree with maybe the choice that the group makes or that one person made for the group without speaking up, like I'm saying, then that's no longer something that you're invested in because you don't agree with the idea anyway. So what's keeping you, or what's forcing you at that point to give it your all to make the product the best that it can be? Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I
get
think
that.
so. I mean, yeah, fear of conflict I think can lead to a ton of things, including Jesus Christ, I forgot the word. It starts with an R. It's like resentment. It's well, it is resentment. It's not like resentment, but it is resentment. It can lead to resentment, not speaking your mind, and then people going with a decision that you don't agree with. You can,
and that's kind of what I
don't
mean
know.
by that ties into what I'm saying when I talk about like not giving something your all at that point, right? If you at least have even if you disagree with the final choice of the group, if you have the discussion and feel like your opinion was heard and somebody explains to you why they're going with choice A over choice B, you have to at least be able to understand that and then be like, okay, well, I know why we're doing this, so now I can give it everything I've got. Whereas if you don't speak up, you have no opinion in the matter, and now you're just like, this was a shitty idea. We
Right.
should have gone with my idea in the first place. I'm not going to care about this product that we're trying to put out, whether it's a song or product from a business perspective, whatever it is. So I think it's kowtow. Yeah, never kowtow.
we're gonna write that on the
Don't ever
wall
do
in the
it.
green room or
I
something.
really like that.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see it here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Mark Zastra on it.
Yeah.
Oh, he could do it.
Yeah.
That's a
guy.
Mark original, right?
Of course it is.
everything
Of course
in here
it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Anytime. All of our
Andrew had a
all
lot
the
of
things
plastic
on our-
surgery done. It was
Mark did all of it.
Yeah.
Mark did. I looked terrible before Mark Zastro, MD, got his hands on there. A little silicone, little boop boop, and I've never looked younger, and felt younger. I feel great, folks. Will you lower your mic just a little bit, Joe, just so that all the folks can see your face? Look at that guy. Jesus Christ,
Hey.
ladies and gentlemen. This is
Oh,
why
thank
you
you,
tune
thank
in.
you.
This is why you watch a show on YouTube, because you don't get that in your car.
Shameless
just
plug
listening.
was that?
Yeah, a little shameless, but I thought I did it very smoothly.
Yeah, you slipped it in there.
I was just saying to you about the songs on the EP, which are End with the Truth, Begin with a Lie.
Yes.
Excellent songs, both a little different. The first one I was saying just kind of felt a little like, it reminded me of Paul McCartney. And I'll be the first to say maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's kind of what I got from it when I was listening to it for the first time. You know what else I love about your music, though, is, this is going to sound weird, but instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have all kinds of horns in there. Drums are obviously very prevalent, as is bass and stuff. Nothing gets me more excited in music than hearing either a trumpet or a saxophone. And you got a little bit on the second one. Why do you think do you think those are underutilized today by a lot of
Today?
folks? Yeah.
It's weird. They definitely were yesterday, and I think people noticed. And I was just at Fits in the Tantrums last night, and the biggest featured instrument was this guy on a bari sax. And all the music I like that's out right now is featuring that stuff. I think people realized there was a void and they wanted to fill it. So I think we're cool now. I think it's nice and heavy right now, just the right spot. Definitely, like in our youth, it was nowhere to be found except in like the school bands, and then there was a stigma that goes along with that. And
I played the saxophone in a school band in 5th grade.
there you go. I bet you
Tenor sax.
first chair.
I could play Pink Panther, the theme song, you know, and I could play the Simpsons theme song. Never got to the songs that I was supposed to learn how to play, but I did a really good job of going like this during the concert. Stood up to do, you know how, I don't know if you guys remember this, but were you in band? Yeah, you played the trumpet.
Yeah, I did.
You held the trumpet.
I held the trumpet in band.
Yeah, that's what I did with the saxophone too. Yeah. So, you know how they would make each instrument stand up and do a scale at
I remember there would be like one guy
concert
from each instrument that would like
Oh,
get
my year they asked us all to do it. And I didn't play a note all concert, but I was humming when we got the nod to do the scale. And I absolutely let one squeak, like just bad. It sounded so bad. But Derek Stobrell, shout out Derek. He was the other guy playing tenor sax, and he could play any instrument that you handed him better than most people that I know. So he covered my ass for a lot of that night. So shout out to Derek.
Oh, yeah, he's a great musician.
Oh yeah, fantastic. I love Derek. Yeah,
he's a good guy. He's been on the podcast before, and you guys were good pals back in the day.
Yeah,
great guy, great saxophone player. I'm so glad to hear that we're out of the void.
Oh yeah,
because
the horny void, it ceased.
When you put it like that, it doesn't sound so bad. But I am glad that we're out of the horny void. Horny Void t-shirts available right now, joeroscetti.com. Because, man, saxophone, for my money, coolest instrument ever.
The sexy sax.
The sexy sax. The saxophone is everything. It can be very sensual, George Michael's. It can
Careless Whisper.
fucking rock Clarence, because I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. And, like, when I heard his music for the first time and I heard that saxophone going, it was like it was like an event horizon. Yeah, I mean there was like a point before and there was a point after. And I remember there was one song by Saints Motel. Oh, that had a saxophone in it.
Yeah, they have a few.
Yeah.
Just My Type.
Yeah, that big one is that's the one that like everybody knows. That's the one that I knew. That's the one I was thinking of. Man, I'm glad to hear that it's back. Yeah, I hope more people start using it. But
just keep your ears open, you'll notice it everywhere. Really. Seriously.
No, I believe it. I like it. I'm excited. I'm excited about that. Oh man, how many instruments do you actually play?
Oh, I play the drums.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's the only thing I would consider myself any sort of master in. The rest I can just kind of noodle around, guitars, basses, keyboards. Not enough to call myself a master of those instruments at all. Really nothing with my mouth either. I really don't play anything with my mouth. I just sing with that.
Yeah, is it how many? The only other person that I can think of when I think of like drummers who sing is Phil Collins.
The only one? No, he's big.
Yeah, which is why I can think of him, Joe. Joe, my knowledge is very small, man. I feel like you're giving me too much credit almost. You're surprised when I don't know these things.
I don't know, man. Just you give off a vibe of knowledge. And
I will admit to step in that I didn't know any of this. In fact, when we were in Florida 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and we were at the House of Blues, there was a band playing, and the drummer was singing, and it threw me for a loop. I don't know.
I saw that.
I don't know if I had ever seen that
Joe
before.
Roscetti on the podcast.
Yeah. So, that's where I get all my knowledge of music from is the House of Blues. I've been there twice, so.
That's it. That's all you got.
It feels like it's got to be more difficult because the drums are so pivotal to the band, right? You're basically keeping the tempo for everybody else. And then singing on top of that, I feel like that's just so much harder than singing and playing guitar.
I don't know, man. Like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And it just seems so much more popular to see. I struggle myself doing the opposite. Like, if I'm ever playing a guitar, I find it weird. I'm stumbling on what notes because you got to match whatever note you're playing here with whatever coming out of here in a way you don't have to on the drums. And I guess it's not my native instrument. But it is so much more popular to see the guy up in front jamming and playing. Like, I envy those guys. I want to do what they do. I wonder if it's feelings mutual or something. Would they rather be in the back? I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, because everyone's selfish.
Yeah, exactly. To cow people.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't to cow.
But I remember seeing you with the Stock Car Boys for the first time, and I think the only time I saw you guys. And I heard you singing. I didn't know it was you. And I was like looking at the band and I was like, where is the guy? Because I'm so used to seeing the person up front with a bunch of scarves on, playing guitar and like screaming into the microphone. And then I see all this. It must just be because there's just
You look like you
so
played the
much
drums
movement.
before with that one.
I heard there's a drum set somewhere in a basement.
R.I.P. to the drum set.
R.I.P. to the drum set.
It was sold on Facebook Marketplace.
Good for you. Good for you. You make a profit.
No, I didn't sell it. My mom probably sold it.
Yeah.
It was in her basement.
Yeah, I don't know how much you bought it for, but it probably was sold for less than that.
At that point,
You had a dream, Andy, and you never quite caught up to it.
yeah, I guess so.
You're never too old.
He's too old.
No, I'm not going to
You're
say
not
that.
so
The
good
problem is, I've
Yeah.
said it a million times, I don't have any rhythm. I've got zero rhythm, which I feel like is a pretty big deal with the drums.
gotta be
Again,
up
I'm
there.
I'm no expert, but I feel like that's pretty important, and that's something I just don't have. When I played the guitar a little, and I would take lessons. My guitar teacher would tell me, like, don't ever try to play the drums ever, because
And you looked him right in the eye and you went out and bought a drum set.
Fuck you, buddy.
You were trying to prove somebody wrong. You know, there's a lot of people that works for. It did not work for you, but get him on the next go around.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I had to. Yeah, that wrapped up pretty quick. Even my guitar career because of a brutal pinky injury.
Fatal almost.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Could have been one of the greats. But
Nah, you found your niche here, man. You guys do a great job with this.
oh, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's my favorite place to be.
I appreciate people calling us great.
No, you guys, you deserve it. Truly.
Yeah, we're scaling it out.
Yeah,
Fuck. See, this is what I mean. Now I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
that's all
I
right
was
because we're
gonna-
jamming. We're
Yeah.
jamming, baby.
But yeah, you'll be sitting in a bar one day, 30 years down the line, telling somebody that, you could have been the next big thing if you didn't break your pinky playing dodgeball.
Yeah, that's a rough look.
That injury did. I don't know if this is a sore subject, but that injury kind of put a halt to almost everything you did at the time.
I guess.
You were swimming,
Yep. And then I stopped that,
and you were,
and I was playing guitar.
and you stopped that.
You know, when you have trauma like that and you're forced to reinvent yourself, that's when there's this term, I don't know if you've heard it before, it's called takao.
Oh, yeah.
And what it means is the Japanese have a word for everything. There's that one Japanese word that I don't know what it is, but it means like or it refers to somebody that just buys a bunch of books that they'll never be able to read. I feel like I have that.
I don't. I feel like
You don't even
read
know
a lot
how
of
to
book-
read.
Okay, but you do. I'm not talking about my. Trust me,
But that's why I'm saying you don't have it.
You
Why
know
would
what,
you
though?
have it? Because you don't know how to read. So what are you going to do with the books?
I have a collection of books. Did you know this? I got about 15 books. I got a little mini bookshelf.
A bunch of pictures in there, and
It's all the Captain Underpants series. He's
I
got the
wish.
largest Captain Underpants collection
At
in North America.
our parents' house, there's a bookshelf in my old bedroom that has a lot of books on it, and I bet you I've never read a single one of them front to back.
Oh, Matthew.
And there's probably how many books do you think are on that bookshelf?
At least to like 150. And they're all like, they're like Captain Underpants.
A lot
books.
of Diary of the Wimpy
Diary of the
Kid,
Wimpy
yeah,
Kid, those
stuff
are
like
classics.
That.
the Goosebumps.
Yeah,
Goosebumps,
what the fuck?
dude.
The owl.
There's like, it's like were they mystery books? Because it was about a hockey team.
Yeah, they were mystery books. It was about a hockey team that, for whatever reason, would get into all sorts of crazy shenanigans. Like the one that I know for a fact I didn't finish it, but I definitely have read some of it when I was like 12. It was about they were at a hockey tournament in Toronto, and while they were there, the Stanley Cup got stolen out of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and they were there and like kind of witnessed it. And I feel like rather than going to the authorities, they end up solving the mystery all on their own. Again, don't know because I didn't finish the book, but that's my guess as to what happens.
I feel like there's no way that books like that ever sell. Like, there's no way that those books actually sell well. Like, books that are specifically written to try and get kids that hate reading to read. So, like, oh, he likes hockey, but he thinks reading is stupid. Let's make a book about hockey, and that'll trap him. There's no way that ever works.
I read.
How did it end up at your parents' house?
Well, parents want their kids to know how to read, but sometimes it just doesn't take. Sometimes reading just doesn't take.
You know, here's the thing about reading. You know,
I'm gonna love whatever you say, Professor Matt Canada.
You know, we've talked about it a lot already on the podcast, Andrew, but let me tell you the one thing about reading is it's fun for the kids.
It's fun for the kids.
And as long as it's fun for the kids. No, listen, reading, I will tell you this much. I still haven't figured out how to do it, but it is so important. Reading is so important. And I'm saying this mostly because, you know, Joe has another job that's probably fairly dependent on children being able to
English
read.
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
So, yeah, successful people read books, without a doubt. They read everything.
More money to the libraries, less money to the firework displays.
I hate to do this, but I'm fireworks over library 10 times, man.
Oh my God.
I love fireworks.
I have a feeling that there's a large part in the center of the country that is so anti-libraries and so pro-fireworks. I would love to see that scale.
Because Andrew and Joe, let me tell you the thing about fireworks. You know, we've talked a lot about
Reading.
different things on this podcast today, but fireworks are fun for the kids.
The thing about it, they're fun for the kids.
And that's really all that matters. And you want to know a lot of times why fireworks get lit off. Not only are they fun for the kids, but a lot of times they're in honor of the troops. So we nailed the two main focuses of this podcast in fireworks. That puts fireworks at 2, reading at 1, because reading's also fun for the kids.
I'd say fireworks are maybe the one in the Venn diagram of troops and kids. Fireworks is right in the center.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, no, but I read the Red Badge of Courage, but not the real one, the
Illustrated
Classics edition. And when I was in Mr. Carlson's class, I read half of The Gates of Fire.
That book was really good, though.
Super good. Well, half of it we read in class, which is probably the half that I read, and I just filled in the gaps the rest. You know, I've got a great imagination. I just, words, paper doesn't do well with me. And then also, actually, you want to know a book I did read that was great, and I think about it all the time, is Code Talker.
I don't know it.
That was one of those books.
I read it in 5th grade
the
or
groups.
4th grade. I read it in 4th grade. We were supposed to read it in 5th grade. There was beef between my 4th and 5th grade teacher because of this. Yeah, that's the thing that happens in schools, apparently. My 4th grade teacher read this book to the class as, like, you know how teachers would read books to the class? You'd sit on the little carpet. She read it to the class, and then in 5th grade, we were supposed to read it in groups. So the whole class read a Code Talker, and then I had a group of all kids that I went to 4th grade with, and they made us read a different book. I don't remember what that one was because I didn't read it. Code Talker was a great book, though. It was about... So, fuck you.
Welcome back to the Code Talker podcast.
So,
do you know who it's by?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I have no idea.
It was about in one of the world wars. I want to say 2.
Yeah.
The more popular.
Yeah.
Two.
For sure. Well, and arguably, World War I paved the way for World War II. There never would have been a World War II if there weren't a World War I, and it doesn't get enough
So
credit.
when you think about it like that, it's kind of one large world war with a little break in between.
That is what it feels like. I'm no history teacher anymore, but that is what I would tell people.
So Code Talker, though, it was about the Navajos. They had their own language that nobody else in the world knew how to speak. So they used the Navajo language to be able to send codes back and forth from wherever the people were fighting or like behind enemy lines back to the U.S. that couldn't be broken even if they were intercepted. That's what the book's about. It's really good.
There's this awesome documentary that used to be on Netflix called Real Engine, REEL, and then Engine. And it's all about like how racist TV and movies were towards Native Americans back in the day, and probably still are, I imagine. But it's an awesome documentary, and there's this one part where they show this clip from some movie that was like about the Civil War, and in the clip there's these Union soldiers talking to these Native guys, and there's one Union soldier is translating what they're saying to the captain of the cavalry or whatever. And so they show the clip as it is in the movie. And so you've got the Native guy speaking, and then the Union guy turning to the captain being like, he says they're over the ridge or something. There's always ridges. There's so many ridges in the Civil War. He's over the ridge. And then they show this the guy who did the documentary actually translates what this Native guy is saying, because the people that made that Civil War movie, they never checked. They were just just say some fucking gibberish or whatever, probably. And in the clip, the Native guy is actually saying, you white motherfuckers, I can say any kind of shit and you won't even know what I'm talking about, you dumb fucks. It's a really cool documentary, but there is some fucked up shit in it.
I could imagine.
So I got distracted by your
Well, there's another documentary. It's called The Last Blockbuster, I think it's called. Have you seen it?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen the Blockbuster.
About how is it about how Netflix tried to buy Blockbuster?
No, did you not watch it?
No.
You watch it though, right, Joe? It was awesome. There's a very small. It's just about the last Blockbuster. There's only one Blockbuster left.
Yeah, it's in Oregon.
Yeah, and there is a part in the documentary where they mention that at one point Blockbuster did have the opportunity to buy Netflix, and they said no.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought Netflix tried to buy Blockbuster.
No, because Blockbuster was so fucking huge.
Yeah,
and Netflix.
So this might be a weird question, but I'll ask you, why did Blockbuster go from 100 to 0 and Family Video held on by a thread for the longest time? Was it just porn? Is that what Family Video had going for them?
I wonder. I mean, I do know from talking to some people that worked at those Family Videos that a lot of people that went in there were looking for porn and porn only. But I guess it would be foolish to underestimate the idea that porn sales could, fuel your whole business for years. But that sounds crazy.
They had to all those gumball sales, all those. They had to honor the gumball system. And they just kept showing up with that white gumball for a free movie. They had no choice really. They had to keep the doors open. Yeah.
What was that?
You don't remember that?
Promotion?
They had a gumball machine. They literally had. I remember us doing it, and it was a quarter for a gumball. And if you got the white gumball, it said free movie on the white gumball, and you got a free movie rental.
That's pretty cool.
You were there. You lived it.
Well,
you probably didn't win.
Yeah,
I'd
loser.
Definitely.
I probably won all the time. That was the cool thing about Blockbuster, though, is they had all the candy and crap. The only reason I bring this up is because I was listening to people talk about that documentary the other day, and I've never seen it. This was yesterday, so it's on my list now. But that was another thing you're talking about is Blockbuster was like an experience going in there as a child.
Oh, yeah,
they had all the movies, and then they had the movie-sized candy, and you would
That's a big thing that a lot of everybody in the documentary talks about is they miss the whole experience of it. The smell.
Well, that was I feel like it was Saturday at 2 p.m. and one of our parents would come in and it'd be oh, we're getting a babysitter tonight, so we're going to Blockbuster first. We'd get our kid cuisines and we'd get our movie and some candy from Blockbuster, and then I'd go hide in the closet.
Yeah, that's right. You would run. Our home phone, our landline, was actually a cell phone.
Okay.
So Matthew would steal it.
Pre that.
No, because that's why you would hide in the closet.
We were in late middle school, because our old home phone wasn't corded. It was on the station. That's what
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
See, landline's gone the way of Blockbuster.
All right, so why is Matt in the closet, though?
Oh, he would steal the phone to call our mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
While we had a babysitter over.
I'd be like, get me out of here.
Yeah, I feel like we were pretty, like, we definitely grew up on, I guess, the back end of Blockbuster. But if you think about how huge the whole movie rental business was, I mean, I also would have thought that nothing would have been able to tear it down had I been the Blockbuster people.
Hubris, once again. We're back to it.
It always comes back to hubris.
And now you can
Blockbuster
just
is the Icarus of stores.
Bloop. Do anything just with a bloop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on the back end of Blockbuster on the cutting edge of like on-demand,
Oh,
Time Warner cable on-demand movies.
Yeah, I remember like that. See, that feels that was like the perfect timeline. It was like early 2000s Blockbuster. We started to get a little bit older, like around 2000, like the 2010 mark. And I remember being like around like 12 to 15 and being like, "Can I please rent this movie on demand? It's $4.99, but we get it for 48 hours. Like you can watch it too tomorrow."
right here.
Buy it on accident.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to hit it. You
Yeah.
can't return it.
Yeah. I thought it was free.
That's maybe my favorite time for technology was when things like that were coming around that made things easier and more convenient, but they couldn't do everything for you yet. Like when you watch those early episodes of any show from like the 2000s, but Entourage is the one that always comes to mind because they're always pulling out their tiny little fucking flip phones and like going like that. It's just so crazy how advanced that was at the time and how now it's so like that's nothing compared to like what we're all carrying around now.
Remember how hard it was to get on the internet on like your older cousin's first phone? Anyone remember that? Like they'd have this weird, and like they had these stupid buttons, and you wanted like I just want to go on Ask Jeeves. I don't know, and and it's so difficult.
By the way, I'm pretty sure just shut down officially. Ask Jeeves like just got.
R.I.P. to Jeeves.
Yeah.
Jeeves, smart fella, whatever.
He knew a lot.
She, him,
he knew a lot.
her, whatever. I had something else to say about we were at a wedding this weekend, and we were sitting at a table of cousins, we'll call it,
because that's what it was.
Yeah, but there was a large age gap between some of the cousins.
Yeah,
and so a couple of our cousins that are a little bit older than us, we were talking about like I am.
Oh yeah.
And our cousins that are, somewhat younger than us, 5-6 years younger than us, were like, what the hell is I am? Like that's the most ridiculous way of communicating ever. It's like, yeah, it was, but listen, it was either that or you didn't talk to people. So
yeah, I am was real shitty.
We also were never really allowed to use technology as children until like 10th grade, and then all of a sudden it was like use the internet.
We could
we were like, whoa.
play. That's an interesting point. We could play Oregon Trail, and there was a Harry Potter computer game. Man, R.I.P. to computer games. Computer games were so fun.
The hours spent.
Backyard hockey. Remember I used to play backyard hockey and backyard baseball. I know those are two, like backyard baseball is a game that gets brought up a lot in this conversation.
Backyard hockey, though, was fucking unreal.
And Andrew hates hockey, so listen to him.
I loved backyard hockey,
was so
dude.
fun.
Mike Madonna, that guy was a cheat code in that game.
He was a cheat code in real life. I still say this all the time. And I don't know if people know where it's from, but the announcer in that game, when people would take a penalty, sometimes he'd say, "I've seen rougher stuff in a marshmallow factory."
Yeah.
And I say it all the time. What a line.
They gotta redo those games. They gotta
they should.
them.
I've tried to I don't know what it's called, but whatever, like go on the internet and download a copy onto like your MacBook or something,
right.
You know what I mean? And I think all they did was take my social security number. I never got the game, but
I would happily trade my social security number for
I never got the game. They just
they saw you coming.
Mm-hmm.
They saw you coming from a mile away.
They fleeced me. That man LinkedIn. But I had something else to bring up before we got into the Who Would Win of the Week.
They are rocking outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Luckily it doesn't from what I could tell, it doesn't really come in through here. Like you can't hear it on the podcast.
Did you park
in
the parking lot?
No, I got stiffed, man. They're like, turn around.
We have a thing going for the listeners. We have a thing going on where, as of this is now the 3rd week, right?
Yes. They've been doing these
outside
concerts
of our office.
in the front of our building.
Yeah.
Our building is a bunch of offices. It's in a great location. There are apartments above it, and they do these. They started doing these concerts out front, which is cool, but they have this woman who guards the back parking lot, and she is doing her job.
Somebody has her family held captive and told her, like, if anybody parks in this parking lot that's not supposed to be, like, you're never going to see your family again.
She
because
takes it very seriously.
Then she tried to sell me a hot dog when I walked back in.
Yeah.
Did she really?
Yeah.
I knew she was in cahoots with the hot dog
yeah,
people.
no, she definitely is.
I have a feeling that stand sells very good hot dogs, but I'm not sure that I trust those folks. Oh, that is... Joe, you have just unraveled a mystery that is worthy of Ben
they're
Gates.
in cahoots, man.
Of course they're in
So
cahoots.
she
Might not even work for the building now.
No, I don't know if she does, because this is the 3rd week in a row, and I told her the first week and
Yeah.
I told her last week. I said, hey, like, we're, I'm going to my office to record a podcast. We do it every Wednesday at 6. And I told her that the first week. And she was actually pretty okay with it the first week. She was like, what office? And I was like, it's in that building right there. And she's like, all right.
I get it, because, I mean, this
And
is
then-
not typically the
yeah.
time when people do business, but it's a problem when we have somebody like you, Joe, come around, and there's this lady,
I don't think any less of you guys because of her.
thank you,
I hope
Joe.
she doesn't
Thank
take away
you.
from us. And because last week she was like, I told her the same exact thing, and she had a guy. So she stands up and like comes to my window. The guy stays sitting on the makeshift bench, which is just some rocks. And so I explained this to this lady again, and she's giving me this look, and the guy from the background yells, "Where's your sticker?" Because like Andrew, you have one, right?
Yeah.
So the people that and there was originally one for me.
There is one if you
I just
wanted,
don't-
actually.
I'm never here during business hours, right? So I shouldn't. Maybe now I should put that sticker on, just a little like "fuck you" right in their face.
I guess so. But that's also...
Because that's
a funny fuck you, because it's just giving her what she wants. It's just doing what she wants you to do.
But
no one tells me what to do except you.
So, but what happens is she'll always be like, all right. And then she'll watch me walk into the office as if I'm like trying to, how much could it be to park back there? $5 to go to that concert? Like realistically.
I thought it was, I thought her job is just to make sure that people that don't live or work in the building park there.
I don't think so. And the reason
And to
that
sell hot dogs.
I don't think so. And the reason that I say that is because, one, then what's the point of the sticker? You could just walk around, and every car without a sticker, you could just
get them.
Yeah, ticket them or something. And two, there's more cars ever in this parking lot every Wednesday now than there ever was before.
So she's not doing her job too well then.
Well, that's why I think that it's like I think you can park here for a couple bucks.
What if it's like a little like you don't actually have to pay to park here, but you have to buy a hot dog? You know what I mean? Because she can't charge you for parking, but she can charge you.
So that's the conspiracy.
$15 for a hot dog.
Yeah, $10 to park, but you get a free hot dog. But you're not actually paying to park because she doesn't own the parking lot.
Right.
She's just sitting on that. She sits out there because she wants to be able to listen to music, but doesn't want to pay to get into the concert.
Got it.
So she hangs out with her hot dog guy.
That reminds me of just this funny thing. I was in Michigan, and this guy, they had some kind of like weed day there, and there was this guy who was like selling socks. He was just walking around like yelling, "Socks, $20 for socks." And my girlfriend was like, "Why is he selling socks?" I'm like, "He's not selling socks. He's selling you buy the socks and then you get, weed for free. They throw it in for you." That made me laugh. That just cracks me up, that kind of stuff.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Good for Michigan. I've seen a lot of New York City content lately of people I didn't know much about Coney Island until this morning. I saw a video of
That's
this
where
guy
the first Nathan's was.
walking around Coney Island just like recording people. And that place is out of control. But I think we should get into the Who Would Win a Week.
Yeah, probably. It's
Who
about
would
that
win?
time.
I'm pretty excited about this one because I don't really know where it stems from in my brain.
Just fun times and good snacks.
So this week's Who Would Win of the Week is a Dunkaroo, an original Dunkaroo. So the original one, I believe, is like a vanilla wafer cookies with funfetti frosting
Yeah.
as the dip versus a fun dip. So right off the bat, you have to think these are two very similar but different things. Because the fun dip,
they're both dippable, but they honestly could not be more different.
see, I thought that at first, but realistically, you're taking, with a fun dip, you're taking a sugar stick and you're dipping it in sugar.
Mm-hmm.
With a Dunkaroo, you're taking a sugar cookie and dumping it in, you're taking a sugar and cookie form and dumping it in sugar. That sugar's just also has like some
It's whipped.
condensed
It's whipped
milk
up
in
sugar.
it or something like that.
Mm.
So they're actually more similar than you'd think.
Wow. You know, it's crazy.
Even though the fundamentals are a
when
bit
we
different.
really sit down and think about it,
Mm-hmm.
we're not all that different.
But, so, I mean, to get right into the fight, and then I'm going to throw it over to Joe, but this is the biggest thing that I've been thinking in my head, is Dunkaroo, you have, let's say, 20 mini cookies, right?
20.
15?
Probably. I
I'm
actually
guessing 5.
No, they're little.
I would say like 10 maybe.
They're
I would
little,
say
though.
less than 15.
But they're, really? Okay, maybe
It's my
I'm
guess.
just
I
off.
haven't had them
You
in
could
a
be
long
right.
time.
I had one not too long ago, and it was, I mean, it's very sugary.
Yeah.
Children probably still love them, but it was like I needed to brush my teeth after I ate just one little cookie because I just bummed one off somebody else, which is the worst kind of person, but I did it. So you have 10 small cookies versus the one big stick, I guess we'll call it, the fun dip stick. So strength and numbers could come into it, but you also have to remember that the fun dip stick is durable. You use it, well, the intention is that you use it for the entire duration of your fun dipping experience.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big factor in this fight. I'll throw it over to Joe, though.
Thank you. Durability's key. Picture a Dunkaroo in your index finger and thumb right now and smash it.
Yeah.
Picture the fun dip stick in your index finger and thumb right now. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
I have a few points to make on this very interesting subject. Should I go all right now, or should I kind of bring it around the horn?
Whatever you want to do. The floor is yours.
So we're on durability.
Can I tell you what I like to do?
Yeah.
I like to give a taste, but because Andrew doesn't have integrity when it comes to this game.
That is incorrect.
So I like to hold a little bit
I
back.
voted for Tommy
just in
Pickles one
case-
time.
Just in case he comes at me with a curveball, then I have a little bit more ammunition to throw back at him.
Okay, that's smart.
Yeah.
Very smart strategy.
Never show your hand kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think you did in your initial. I was about to, but
Yeah.
I'll hold back. Let's see. So we got durability is a big thing, and I know it's the product fighting the product, but there are strenuous circumstances to take into account. The person who would eat that product, the person who creates that product. I'll start with this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Dunkaroos, I believe, a byproduct of Betty Crocker. Fun dip has some sort of connection to Willy Wonka.
Mm-hmm.
Willy Wonka's gonna kick the fuck out of Betty Crocker's ass. That's
Yeah.
just, okay. That's right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then one other thing I wanted to bring up is the kid who's eating the fun dip. He's wired, man. He's just snorting up his nose. He's going crazy. He's off the wall. He's bouncing. The kid who's eating the Dunkaroo, he's sitting in the corner.
The snack spot. Yeah.
Anybody want to play Bakugan?
Yeah.
That's Dunkaroos.
Yeah. See, I like that because that's another thing that's very important in this is you kind of have to build these snacks, their own personality, and a lot of that gets reflected and based off of the type of person who eats them. And I agree with your initial assessment of the two categories.
So I'll stop there for now. Yeah.
Yield the floor. I am so glad that we first and foremost brought up the stick, because you do have to recognize that it's one of the hardest substances known to man is the fun dip stick.
It's on the periodic table.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's on the.
FN.
You have to pull it out like a pop-up book, but it's on there. The Fun Dip stick does seem to be, the star of the show when it comes to Fun Dip. But we can't forget about that powder. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is what I think happens in this fight. The Dunkaroos come out all lined up, and they're marching towards the Fun Dip stick, and they try to overpower it like the Seven Dwarves trying to overpower Shrek, which is another Who Would Win of the Week we did. The Seven Dwarves failed. The Dunkaroos will fail in this instance because that stick will crush the Dunkaroo cookies. I mean, just smash them to bits so easily. Those things are crumbly as fuck, and they're going to get smashed. Now, the sugar part. Because the Dunkaroos also have the frosting, right? And you could use the frosting to try and slow down the Fun Dip stick. Capture it. It's whatever. Get it stuck in there. I think that the Fun Dip powder is Look, I'm no baker anymore, but if you put the powder into the frosting and I feel like it's going to harden that shit up and render it completely useless. Every move that the Dunkaroo tries to make, the Fun Dip is going to have a counter.
See, so it's funny that this is where it came because this is where I was going to take it to. Yeah, we hadn't yet talked about the sugar versus the frosting type material. And I agree with you that I think the sugar hardens up the frosting. Now, just to play a bit of devil's advocate here, from a strategy perspective, if I am the Dunkaroos, here's the thing about the Dunkaroos that I'm not sure if you took into account based on legality of this fight, but this is how I would do it. If I'm the Dunkaroos, Fun Dip comes in that papery container, whereas the Dunkaroos come in a type of a plastic shell of sorts.
Right.
So if I'm the Dunkaroos, I attempt to get as close as possible to the Fun Dip because the way I picture the Fun Dip fighting is the stick stands there as the almighty powerful stick with the dip and package following behind it. The Dunkaroos are going to come at the Fun Dip stick five aside in their little boat of sorts with the frosting trailing behind it. As they approach, the Fun Dip stick might try to take a shot early, but they're somewhat protected as of right now because of the plastic shell. So once you get close enough, if I am the Dunkaroos, I go front heavy on the boat, almost in a sorts, flipping their boat over, pouring the frosting onto both the Fun Dip stick and the powder. So now there's two things that can happen. If the Fun Dip stick falls backwards upon impact into the powder frosting mix, the Fun Dip stick's going to be in some trouble because we just talked about how we have a feeling that substance is going to harden. At that point, the Fun Dip stick has to free itself from the sticky contraption prior to being openly abused by 10 Dunkaroo cookies, which we know aren't the strongest. If that Fun Dip stick can escape that contraption, it's still going to handle the Dunkaroos with ease. If it struggles, the Dunkaroos are going to have a lot of open shots at that Fun Dip stick, even to the point where if I'm them, I try to keep it buried, keep the frosting sugar mix on that thing, keep their plastic container on top of that thing, and just hope that it dies a slow death, I guess. And that's just all theoretical. And also, now that we've had this discussion, I'll get into it. I don't think the Dunkaroos stand a chance. I think the Fun Dip stick is too durable for the Dunkaroo cookies to be able to outlast. But I think that the Dunkaroos do have a chance if they were to listen to my strategy.
Excellent.
I think it was a pretty good fucking strategy.
Good points were made.
Yeah.
Deliberate points were made. I wonder if the Dunkaroos even show up to the fight. I wonder if they even show up to the fight, man. When I got the word of, the who would win of the week, I was super excited. I had to run to the store. Let me get my hand on a pack of Dunks. Let me get my hand on a Fun Dip stick. Guess which one I could find? Found the Fun Dip stick.
Right.
Guess what I found for Dunkaroo's bullshit? I found like a knockoff Dunkaroo cereal. That's all I found.
That's terrible.
And maybe you take that as they're so in demand. They're so popular. They're out of stock. Or maybe they just never showed up in the first place. And who's going to fight the Dunkaroos battle for him in his place if he doesn't even show up? I know we don't like to talk forfeits. I know we don't like to talk defaults. I wonder if he shows up.
I think that the Dunkaroos do show up. I really think they do, because I honestly think that those cookies are pretty regimented. So I think they do show up, and I think that they are willing to die for their cause. I think those cookies will try their hardest. Obviously, it's futile in the end. The other thing about there's such a limited amount of Dunkaroo frosting, there is a ton of Fun Dip powder. So you can render the frosting useless and still have a ton of powder left over to, I don't know, what do you blind the Dunkaroos if they
are they
have
animals?
sight?
Are they animal shapes?
No, they're
just
little
circle.
circular.
Oh, they're
yeah,
circles,
they're
okay.
like nickel sized, I would say.
But if you can get the Fun Dip dust atom, those cookies are weak enough, it could erode the cookies a little bit, and they're already about to be smashed.
Well, not only are the cookies weak enough, but we don't actually know what's in Fun Dip powder. I mean, we can assume it's all sugar, but I'm sure there's some type of chemical in there.
Nitric acid.
Yeah. So my other thing is too, when we talk about the personality of the two snacks, I don't, and this might come as a surprise to people, I don't think that Dunkaroo cookies are as smart as I am. So I don't know if they would be able to develop that strategy. I think unless
You're saying Dunkaroo cookies don't know how to read?
No.
Okay.
Dunkaroo's not even a real word. So, but yeah, unless one of the Dunkaroos has a family with a large military background and has a passion for military history and kind of knows how to defeat a superior opponent in battle, I mean, these Dunkaroos are going to get crushed.
I think the Dunkaroos do have that, though. I think it's instinct for the Dunkaroos to, come out, get in line, get in formation. That's what Dunkaroos do.
Is there a leader amongst the Dunkaroos, though?
No.
Or is there one leader, like we talked
exactly.
about?
There's not one. See, I think the Dunkaroos, and it comes back to their personality, I think that whoever speaks first, that's the idea they go with. The rest of them are too shy
The
to speak
Dunkaroos
up.
are all about Takowing.
No. Yeah, they
The
Takow.
Dunkaroos do not stop with the Takow.
They settle for everything, and that's going to be their downfall because, this is like a David versus Goliath type fight.
Right.
The Fun Dip is obviously superior in durability, but that's not to say it couldn't be done. The problem is I don't think the Dunkaroo cookies, and I'm not even saying that they're not willing to die. I don't necessarily disagree with that point, but I do think that they are just too, I don't even know the word because I don't consider, they're just not
passive.
not good enough. Because I would say that they would
can't
be
really,
organized.
They can't really think for themselves,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Well, they
can't improvise, that's for
they're
sure.
all
Dunkaroos
timid.
can't improvise.
They're all shy. They're all I guess we'll just go with that idea. 'Cause that guy's
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Dunkaroos are shy.
You know what? I can't argue with that. And not just because they're
And
cookies,
also,
but
the thing about the Fun Dip, too, is, again, to relate back to what we were talking about earlier, the Fun Dip stick itself has a leadership complex like no other.
That
It
is so
commands everything it does. It has its own pocket in the Fun Dip container. And I know Dunkaroos do too, but there's 10 Dunkaroo cookies in its own pocket. The Fun Dip sits by itself, and it knows exactly where it stands. The sugar knows exactly where it stands. It goes, stick is superior, then the sugar. The Dunkaroos, if they're smart enough to use the frosting, yeah, but I feel like the cookies themselves think that they're good enough without the frosting, and that's just,
I think that's absolutely true. The cookies are
at that point
in fact
just
going
buy,
ahead in,
you could
first.
just buy
And by
a
then,
mini Nilla wafers, and it's the same thing as a Dunkaroo.
Yeah. That's such a great point. Name me one thing in the candy world that is a bigger symbol of respect than the Fun Dip stick. None. Absolutely none that are that regal. And it's a simple amount, it's a simple regality. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay, there we go.
Simple yet effective.
Simple yet effective. So let's just lock
This
it in.
guy
Then.
took college comp.
I got a 28. I wrote Batman on a lot of those test answers. Let's lock it in. Fun dip
Fun.
has to. It has to be. Has to
Would
be.
you?
Of course.
You have to say it.
I was
Fun dip.
thinking about being funny and being like, wait, but no, it's fun dip.
Well, we rack our brain. I think we gave the Dunkaroos their just due. I think we
I-
really sat here and tried for a little bit to figure out how the Dunkaroos would potentially be the fun dip, and we came up with 0 answers.
So we're locking it in. That's 3-0. That's a clean sweep. Vote on that on Friday on our Instagram at Two in the Cooler. That will be posted on our story. You can vote on that. And then 4 p.m. on Friday, join Andrew Canada on Clubhouse. Go on, discuss that, talk shit. You can say whatever you want. To a sense, Andrew will not ban you regardless, but, well, he's not. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we always do.
He doesn't ban people. But now I have a question for you now that that's done, though.
Uh-huh.
You walk into a store, they have both. You're in the mood for a snack. What are you picking? This is completely taste bud
Right.
related.
I love Fun Dip because I like that I like having the stick as almost a dessert at the end of
You
the
eat all the
candy.
sugar and then you get to finish off
And
the
that
stick.
because I
Okay.
love the stick. Sometimes I honestly kind of eat Fun Dip just for the stick.
There's people
I
like
love that because I loved candy cigarettes as a kid, and it's the same shit. It's just hard sugar, tasteless sugar, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny because I definitely would not buy Fun Dip if I had the choice.
Yeah, neither would I.
I
What,
would
you
definitely
guys
go
would
with the
pick
Dunkaroos.
I would go with the
Dunkaroos over Fun
Dunkaroos.
Dip? That's
I would.
crazy. Dunkaroos
And
are
I
kind of
love
gross to
I
me.
love Fun Dip like as a child. I haven't had a
Yeah, I
Fun
can't
Dip
put
in a
that sugar
long
in my
time.
mouth
yeah.
right now.
But Dunkaroos,
I absolutely
see, to
could.
me, because
Send
to
your
me,
Fun Dip to P.O. Box R.
cookies are a pillar in my life. Like, I rely heavily on
Yeah, for
cookies
you when
to
no one else
survive.
was.
Seriously, I feel like we've talked about this before with like
Probably.
Oreos and stuff. I need cookies in my life. Cookies, brownies, anything of that nature. And pure sugary stuff like that doesn't really get it done for me.
Just because switching, but just because Joe mentioned the Dunkaroos cereal, I don't think there's anything that makes me as angry as when they try to make a dessert into a cereal, like Oreos cereal or like
What about-
Chips Ahoy cereal. The only time it's ever worked is with Reese's Puffs.
Reese's
It's the
Puffs
only time that's
cereal
ever paid off.
actually kind of put themselves in a position of superiority as far as sugary cereals go.
Oh, absolutely.
Reese's Puff cereal, I would say, is my number one cereal. And then you have
I'll say this: there are people out there that don't eat Reese's Cups, but will eat Reese's peanut butter
Reese's Cups.
for that peanut butter chocolate flavor.
I don't not like Reese's Cups, but I don't. You know, if it's a candy selection, I'm not picking a Reese's first. I'm taking a Milky Way, a Snickers, anything like that, a Crunch Bar, anything like that over a Reese's Cup. But
I think they have a Crunch Bar cereal as well.
Yeah,
It's
unnecessary.
gross.
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary.
No,
It
that
drives
can't
me
be good.
crazy.
Yeah, I was standing there holding that Dunkaroo cereal box, just getting pissed off. I was getting
Rolos.
pissed off. I
My-
threw it on the ground. I walked out.
yeah, Rolos, another candy I forgot. I would take Rolos over just about anything.
Rolos
There's
are
something
sick.
about chocolate and caramel.
I can just feel it in my teeth right now.
Yeah, stuck up there.
Milk Duds, I like Milk Duds. Milk Duds
Milk
are
Duds are,
literally
but Rolos,
like the cement of
Rolos
candy.
are like
Ooh.
convenient milk
yeah,
duds.
yeah. They're like they're like the Milk Duds for rich white women.
I would always
you know what
get
I mean?
Milk Duds when I would go to the movies, or probably at Blockbuster too.
Yeah.
Speaking of it, and the thing about it is, after you attempt to eat the first Milk Dud, you realize that it's an unrealistic expectation, and you kind of what I would do is kind of end up like putting them in my mouth and like sucking off the chocolate, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
sucking on the Milk Dud, because then the chocolate comes off, and then you kind of eat the caramel like a caramel candy, like a Werther's Original almost.
Can I know this. I'm gonna get some heat for this, but growing up, my go-to movie candy, Blockbuster, whatever, was always Raisinets.
Yeah, that's,
I'm
Like Like a 10-year-old kid.
Well, we
Yes.
have a joke.
I was like 7 years old,
There's an
and I was
ongoing
like, "Get
joke
me those
that
Raisinets."
Andrew's been 40 since the day he was born.
Some people say older, but distinguished
And
is a word that
Raisinets
I've heard thrown
suck.
around. Raisinets are so good. First of all,
See, I like
raisins are nature's candy.
I like trail
No,
mix.
but
So I like
trail mix is
not as a
bullshit.
candy,
Fuck
but I
trail
like
mix.
to eat. I eat a lot of trail mix.
Even just regular fuck trail mix. I hate trail mix. That
Trail
shit
mix is
stupid.
listen. Trail mix is the perfect snack.
Trail mix is
I'm not-
dumb.
I'm not
for
trying
like
to eat dried
for somebody who is like, I'm talking like mountain mix. Like I'm talking like peanuts, cashews,
M&Ms.
almonds, M&Ms, raisins.
Okay.
M&M's is cheating. First of all,
Love
for
M&Ms.
trail mix.
No,
oh,
here's
M&Ms
the
are great,
thing.
but
My
in
go-to.
trail mix, it's
No,
cheating.
no, it's not. Because here's the thing: is the people that I hate are people who say like, "Oh, let me get some of that trail mix," and pick M&Ms out of it because then it ruins the ratio, and you are the worst type of person.
That's true.
I don't mean it's the
However-
perfect snack. It's the perfect snack for when you're trying to not eat something that's like relatively unhealthy. Because not that trail mix is like, oh, this is so healthy, but it's
No, absolutely.
Pretty
It's got M&Ms in
healthy.
it.
but like that's a lot of nuts.
Trail mix
raisins.
M&Ms are not. Trail mix is bullshit, in my opinion. I hate trail mix. I think it's really
But you
stupid.
like a raisinette.
I fucking
Yeah.
love Raisinets, Joe. Raisinets are the best. I had this huge. I was at this Halloween party whenever the last time people had Halloween was, and I was with a bunch of these people that I didn't know, and we were like talking about candies that are trash.
No, Andrew, no.
And then I was like, I gotta represent. I do like Raisinets though, because somebody's like, Raisinets are the worst of them all. I'm like, nah.
Worst
I hear you,
candy-
but I do like Raisinets.
Worst candy, Mounds bars.
Fuck Mounds bars.
At least making an almond joy.
Mountains bars are worse than Almond Joy. I don't like nuts in my candy, but
I
a Mounds
wouldn't-
bar has dark chocolate and coconut. You
Oh,
have
I
to
didn't-
make it milk.
I wouldn't
love
even
coconut.
see. I hate coconut. I wouldn't eat a Mounds bar for like $200. I bet you, I would eat a Mounds bar for anything below that. Probably not. That's how much I dislike them.
Can I
That might be a lie.
Bring up another thing about the trail mix.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. The people that take just the M&Ms out of the trail mix are the worst people. On the other hand, Chex Mix, the people that don't eat the bread and the little breadsticks, that's everybody.
No.
What do you mean?
That's the best part of Chex Mix.
Is the little bread and the breadsticks?
I love the bread.
I do like the bread. The bread is
bread
tasty. Yeah.
Is the best.
I feel like
That's
a
where
lot
all
of
the
people-
taste
I
is.
feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't
No,
eat
no,
that.
no. The thing that people don't eat in trail mix is the pretzels. Which you're
In
a
Chex
big
Mix?
yes.
Oh, because I love the
No,
pretzels.
because you're a big pretzel guy.
I'm a big
See,
pretzel guy.
The pretzels, to me, again, are my least favorite part of Chex Mix.
But nobody eats those little plain breadsticks.
I like the
Oh,
breadsticks.
I mean,
Really?
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think some assumptions are a
don't?
little off about Chex Mix.
I must be 100% off. I must be living in a Chex Mix bubble.
I'm pretty
See-
sure like the rye chip is the most
it's
popular.
the
thing.
number one.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yes. I actually, in fact, I saw a TikTok the other day that was like if priests used bags of Chex Mix to perform communion, and it was like people going up in line for communion, and it was like in their head they're like, please give me the circle bread, please give me the circle bread, and then like a couple people go through, and the one guy, and he like gets the circle bread, and he's like walks past the priest, and he's like fist pumping, and then like a couple people back in line, the guy turns around, and he's like, I hear all they got left is circle pretzels, and they go like this, and they just walk out of the church. Yeah. So obviously cold take by
Wow.
you. But
No. I want to say that I personally do like the bread. But
If
I
you-
thought that people... I
no,
didn't.
that's a go-to. It's where the most
I'm living
flavor
in the
is,
dark.
and
I want
also
to apologize to
if you
everybody.
eat Chex Mix Bold, have you ever had the Chex Mix Bold? It's
Is
just
that like
more
extra seasoning?
Oh.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that stuff's gas. So now that we're finishing up the topic of food, and as we wrap up the episode, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but one thing that's been going on the internet has been a lot of hot dog slander. Well, not like people eating hot dogs, but
Do
it came
tell.
up with like what's the proper way to eat a hot dog condiment wise.
Like what are
I'll-
things
I'll
that
tell
should
you-
not be on hot dogs?
No, because I'll tell you what the conversation was, and I
Okay.
feel like this might throw Andrew into a bit of a tizzy. Is that like they were saying, and it was almost a 50-50 split. I don't necessarily agree with this, but a lot of people were saying that it's gross to eat just ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because
What do you eat on your hot dog?
I eat ketchup and onions.
Yeah, see, a lot of people. Yeah, onions.
Which,
Are you a hot dog guy?
I love hot dogs.
yeah.
The purist in me in the hot dog fandom. I don't know if you guys know this. You're not supposed to put ketchup on hot dogs. I don't think it's a gross thing.
So
But
this
the-
is
The purist says no.
What is this like
It's
in the
supposed
book
to
of
be-
Hoyle for
It's
hot
supposed to
dogs?
be
Yeah, like
mustard over ketchup, right?
yeah. So
yeah.
Okay, I get
like
that.
if you go to like New York, they laugh at you when they're at a real place in New York. They laugh at you when you want the ketchup. Like they're the son of a bitch.
You know
and they're like-
what?
they spit on it and they're like, yeah, here's your ketchup hot
Here's your
dog.
ketchup. I will say,
They let their pet rat bite the end.
if it's a Nathan's dog, the most famous New York hot dog, I will eat that plain. Like I
See,
won't put
any
anything
type
on
of-
Nathan's dog.
any type of like ballpark / sporting event hot dog, I think that you can eat
Any way you want.
like plain.
Oh,
I think
plain?
that
Yes, I
when
agree.
when it comes warm in the little tin foil.
Oh, that tinfoil.
But I will agree that I'm a ketchup and mustard guy. That's
Okay.
my dog choice. And I never thought about it this way, but somebody said that like ketchup alone on a hot dog is like putting like syrup on a hot dog because ketchup is really sweet. And I never realized it. And since I heard that, I've been like a little taken back. Like I don't know if I want to eat this ketchup.
It does make sense to me that you say that it's supposed to be mustard because I feel like that's like a
Mustard
a sausage type thing, like a bratwurst type thing is the mustard. So
and it's got a
hot
little
dog
tang
being
to
like
it.
the younger brother of that, it makes sense that they would make you. But also, people used to eat hot dogs without buns. They had gloves, right? The hot dog gloves. You know about these, Matthew?
That's weird.
Yeah,
I
it is
like
weird.
that.
Edible
Think about
glove?
that.
Was it edible?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't think so. I think
Now, if
I
you
don't know
gave
what
me
the deal is with these
now,
gloves.
so
If you had to bring
this
your
is
own
an
from
even
home,
better idea. So you know how at like minor league baseball games they'll sell like beer bats, like bats. They look like bats,
yeah.
but they're like just full of beer, like stuff like that. Or like how at Bison's game they do the Dippin' Dots in a little helmet,
in a little helmet.
Bison's
Yeah.
helmet. They should do hot dogs, but they give you a bun that's like a glove. Maybe you don't have to put your whole hand into it because then it's like a little gross.
no, you don't. You'd make it like a small glove-shaped bun,
Yeah.
and then you just hold it like regular. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
putting it on. That's ludicrous.
Well, that was my first idea, but then I was like, well, we just got over this
'Cause
wole
also,
like
what if you're
let's wash our
hammered and
hands
you're eating
things.
the glove?
You don't
off
bite
and
a
just
finger.
cut
You don't
your
eat the
fingers?
helmet of the Dippin' Dots, and
Yeah.
you don't eat the bat of the beer. Can it be a real glove with hot dogs in it, or does it have to be an edible glove bun?
But at this
glove
point,
bun.
at this point
You
in
could-
society,
well-
hold on. At this point in society, the bun is a part of the hot dog. So you have to have a bun.
Okay.
Oh wait, are you talking about putting a regular hot dog
a bunch
bun in
of hot dogs
Inside
a bunch
of
of
a
hot
glove.
dogs in a big old
like
ketchup
you buy like you buy like a family
Like a jumbo
five,
pack,
a family
yeah.
5-pack, and they come in like a glove,
and you get
but
the
it's
glove
just a
for free,
bunch
and
of-
the kid gets to wear the glove at the
Oh.
game, catch the
So
foul balls.
it's
It's
a-
a bunch of hot dogs,
served in a glove.
yeah,
It's a good idea.
and they probably could charge $100. Those
that's-
gloves are pretty expensive.
That's better than my idea was, but I think if you
I
could have an
would
entire
absolutely-
like a full size bun glove
Yeah.
that you put on, and then you walked up there and you ordered it. So you said, I want a glove, and they say, how many hot dogs? And then you could say like 3, and then you put the glove on, and they just drop 3 glizzies right in your hand.
Yeah.
And you just like,
I think that we are on the precipice of something really
That's big time.
something
A
really
great
great,
marketing
something that would
idea.
absolutely
Yeah.
work. I don't know if we've hit it quite yet,
working.
but there's a lot of good things.
Joe's
going
idea
around.
was the best so far.
And it could be a cheap glove. It could be a cheap
But
glove.
the
I
hot
would
dog glove, like one of those
rock
plastic
a
gloves, like
fucking-
a
Yeah.
Sandlot,
like
hit you in the
a
face.
Smalls glove.
Yeah.
I absolutely rock a Salen's brand baseball glove. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was another. Yeah. All right. Either way, hot dogs. So what do you eat on your hot dog, though? I know you're saying. Sorry, we got.
So I love
Yeah.
a hot dog. It depends probably where I am. If I'm cooking it by myself, at home, I'm probably going straight up Weber's mustard.
Okay.
If I'm going to Ted's, and I was just there Saturday, I'm going with the Weber's, the Ted's hot sauce, onion and pickle.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm never putting ketchup on a dog.
Is the Ted's hot sauce? Is it like a meat sauce, or I've never
No,
had the Ted's?
It's
hot.
great.
See, okay.
It's thicker. There's no meat in it. which I would
Yeah.
not like it if there was.
Well, because that, Louis, like Louis is like they call it like slime sauce or whatever. It's like and
Cool,
I don't-
appetizing.
Yeah, I don't really
love it.
love it. But okay, so I've never had the Ted's hot sauce. I'm gonna have to give it a go.
You can even get it at a store. They do have it at stores too, or just go straight to
I
Ted's.
love that.
So
I love
here-
seeing,
now
like,
here's my
You
question.
can buy things from local restaurants.
So
and
would you say
grocery
that
stores.
Ted's hot sauce is like hot dog specific, or could I put it on something else?
Yeah, you can put it on something else, sure.
Okay.
You can put it on a burrito. Breakfast, eggs. Yeah.
I made a. We're talking too much about food.
No, we're
sh-
not.
All right, fine. I made a.
Now we're going in deep.
No, not deep at all. But I made a chicken Caesar wrap for lunch today.
Nice.
And I go through a phase like once every 2 months where I come across and eat a chicken Caesar wrap, and then all I'll eat for like the next 2 weeks is a chicken Caesar wrap until I can't even look at one anymore. Like I made one for lunch and I was already thinking about like, dude, I have to make another one of these for dinner when I get it home from this podcast. Like it was so good. I literally just
I love that.
I literally just like throw some chicken on, like dice it up, like take some lettuce out, dice it up, wash the lettuce off, and then what I do is I get out a Ziploc baggie, lettuce, chicken, shredded parm, dressing in the bag, hard shake, dump it right onto the burrito.
Bam. Eat your heart out, Guy Fieri.
Fantastic.
Nailed it.
This sounds great.
All right, I'm sold. Well, Andrew.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before we go, I want to, just touch on a lot of Joe's music stuff again.
Yeah, of course.
But I will say, so it is 7:29 right now on Wednesday night. This episode comes out Thursday. So the Hockey Kingdom has not started yet. Game 5, Tampa Bay, Montreal in Tampa. Tampa coming off a loss. When you guys are listening to this, the Tampa Bay Lightning will be back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. I fully guarantee it. Like it's not even a question that by the time this comes out tomorrow, it'll seem like, of course, why would we even say it?
Right.
Like they won. We know they won. Yeah, I know they're going to win. The game didn't start yet though. But lock that in.
Has anybody ever three-peated in the Stanley Cup?
That's a stat that I should know. I would say probably like a long, long time ago, like original 6 times when Montreal was just like winning every Stanley Cup ever. They had to have won like more than 2 in a row, I would bet.
Sports were so crazy back then.
Yeah.
Like just old baseball where you could just be like so out of shape and just fucking rip dingers like nobody's business.
Yeah, I think about old hockey was like
Was it brutal?
it was like there it wasn't even. It's such a different sport. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like people were just murdering each other. Like they used to be able to do. There was no like they didn't call like holding and interference penalties. Like you could just grab guys without the puck and like rip them down and just escape. It was a violent and lawless land. I couldn't imagine it. Not for me. Anyway, Andrew, to you.
Okay. Joe, thanks for coming on, man.
No,
We
thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate it.
Super fun, guys. Super fun.
We had a good time talking to you. So, the EP with End with the Truth, Begin with a Lie, out now. It Sure Is Surreal. You can find it everywhere, right? Spotify.
Oh, yeah,
Can you
everywhere.
buy it? Can you buy it on like iTunes?
At this point, I don't even check up on sales. Physical things are a thing of the past, right? Like a copy of a CD. I'm not. I think if you don't have Apple Music and you're like living in like 2007 and you have like an iPod, you can probably buy it.
That's why I asked that. Can I get it on my Nano?
You can get it on your Nano.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where it's
Okay.
like 99 cents, I think.
It's $1.29. They've bumped songs up too.
Is it?
Well, that was like
That was a big deal.
that was a long time ago
the
too.
world.
Yeah.
Songs they might be charging $3 a song now if you don't have Apple Music.
I'll put the link to it in the
please.
show description. So if you're listening, check it out. Do you have any live things coming up? What's the deal?
Yeah, I play. I mean, with various groups.
Yeah.
I don't think the songs that we're talking about
No, but
might not
just
ever
in
be played
general.
live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I play all over, man. If you ever see Chris Borgatti and the Half Trays, that's me. Stock Car Boys would love to get a show or two. Nothing scheduled right now. I mean, just keep an eye out in the Lewiston, Youngstown region, especially every weekend coming up. I'll be in Buffalo a few times. I'll be in Nietzsche's with Passed Out next Friday. Keeping it diverse, a nice diverse portfolio. My favorite shows are usually the upper Niagara County region, where I'm from, and I'm out there. If you're out, you'll see me.
So is there anywhere that listeners might be able to know if their show's coming up? Do you have a Facebook page or an Instagram account, stuff that you'd put anything like
Well,
that?
I mean, yeah, if you follow me, like Joe Roscetti, anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, I always post where I'm at.
Okay.
You can look at all the most of the bands have pages. Chris Borgatti Music, Half Trays have something. Passed Out has its own thing. Yeah, they're all over social media. You find Joe Roscetti, you find it all,
That
all
is the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
14 bands. So, again, like Andrew said, thanks for coming on. Definitely check out Joe's stuff. I mean, guy's got a great voice. Better than me. Definitely better than Andrew.
I won't deny it.
At singing and the drums. And obviously, yeah. So, check that stuff out. Joe, I hope you had fun.
I had a blast, fellas.
Yeah. It, sometimes it gets a bit off the rails, but...
I'll talk about food all day, man.
Yeah, that's
seriously.
what else are we doing here?
Chicken Caesar wraps. Chicken
My
Caesar.
God.
Started chanting.
All right. I'll let both of you guys get out of here. You got things to do.
Yeah, like eat.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody, for listening.
Andy, I love you.
I love you, too. Let's get out of here.